Okay, we will open the meeting. Please call a roll.
Gandy?
Yes.
Esti?
Yes.
Toohill?
Yes.
Rasmussen?
Yes.
Ham?
Yes.
There's my.
Okay, so we have two people that aren't here tonight. And we have a couple things on our agenda that we need to postpone. One is the swearing in of a new officer. That will happen next meeting. And our action item of the change order for wastewater treatment, that is being deleted as well. So any other changes to the agenda, council? If not, let's move on to the consent agenda. Approval of the minutes of the September 12th, 2022 council meeting. Approval of the September 16th, 2022 payroll in the amount of $136,244.72. Approval of June finance report. Acceptance of the library board minutes. Acceptance of the beautification commission minutes. Resolution approving employment in the police department. Approval of liquor license for Casey's, number 4306, which is at 1601 West Burlington Avenue. Approval of special claims, Visa and USPS post office in the amount of $10,198.93. Approval of total claims in the amount of $605,939.78. We had one claim over $75,000 to Maxwell Construction for the amount of $386,622.33. I would like to note on beautification commission minutes, there was a note. Did I print that out? No, I didn't. There was a note of a project that I just wanted to quickly send these pictures down. It has to do with a public art on the railroad.
Oh, okay.
On overpass on 2nd Street. Those are 3 examples. These aren't approved, but these just give you rendering examples. Chad Starling came to the volunteer center and is interested in doing this project. There are lots of hoops that have to be gone through. Shanaz is talking to the railroad and to the DOT. We've made a connection with our insurance, so there's several hoops to go through. These are not final designs, by the way, so there'll be a process to go through of what that's going to end up looking like, what kind of wording that he should use, but apparently Chad has been interested in doing this for some long time. We are having problems with graffiti on those 2 pillars, so this is a really fantastic project. I'm really excited about it because I love his work anyway, and so I just wanted to give you a heads up that probably sometime, I would imagine the next 6 months, we hope to have all the details worked out and all the approvals, and then we'll come back to the city and ask for hopefully your stamp of approval. So, okay, so that's the one thing that I want to mention on those beautification minutes, just so you had a heads up. With that, I would take a motion to approve, and normally we would have Doug approve anything.
I did the receipts, and they
Yeah.
were very straightforward.
Okay, so nothing there to discuss. Okay.
Move to approve consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and approved. Any other discussion? Questions? Okay, please call the roll.
Gandy?
Yes.
Toohill?
Yes.
Ham?
Yes.
Rasmussen?
Yes.
Esti?
Yes. Great, thank you. There's no public forum or appearances, so we will move right on to resolutions, action items, and ordinances. I'd like to open the public hearing on the matter of disposal of city assets. This was discussed last week as well. Melanie, do you want to say anything about that? Oh. Yeah, before I open the public hearing, I guess,
okay.
why don't you say whatever, and then I'll open the public hearing
I
officially.
just wanted to add that there were 2 items added at the bottom of the list. We've had some people come in over the last week having interest in the smaller buildings that are there. I was going to demo them, but I guess some people want them. So I added those to the list from the last council meeting.
Okay.
And again, some of these items are going to be given away. Some of them will be sold for scrap. Some will be sold as they are. And the items that will be sold, like the buildings, will have their own bid process.
Okay, okay, sounds good. So I will open the public hearing. Is there anybody that wants to speak to this issue? Shanaz?
She wants you to come up.
I told her to come up, just to say thank you.
I do appreciate that DOT and she contacted Habitat for Humanity to give a lot of the items out of the DOT building. We definitely can use the money, and it's going back into the community, building homes. So I do appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you.
Great, thank you. So yes, this is how the world turns, I guess you could say. Anybody else want to talk to that this specifically? If not, I'll close the public hearing and let's go to the action item. Anybody have any questions? If not, I'll take a motion to, approve this list.
I would approve the list.
Okay.
And thank you.
Second.
Moved by Rasmussen, second by Gandy, or was that you? Toohill, Tom? Any other discussion? If not, please call the roll.
Rasmussen?
Yes.
Toohill?
Yes.
Esty? Yes. Ham?
Yes.
Gandy?
Yes.
It's just going so fast, I'm not ready for the next thing. Okay. Next action item, consideration accepting Step 2 sanitary sewer conveyance project as substantially complete. Mr. Pedrick.
This is just following up from last month. You did the partial release of retainage. There's a letter kind of explaining what we're doing here. I don't know if anybody was trying to fall asleep last night, if you looked through it or not. But at any rate, we're saying the project is substantially complete. Things are kind of a little bit out of order on this project, and that has to do with the fact that we've been working with the contractor for a long time trying to get this punch list wrapped up. And so it essentially ate up all of your warranty period is part of what this letter is. So the warranty actually expires September 30th of this year. And that is a USDA technicality. Once the project is substantially complete. You're accepting it tonight, but it was actually put in service over a year ago. And so that was when the last part of the sewer was accepting sewer, and being used. So the city's been using this sewer for over almost a year now. And so typically this would happen, shortly thereafter. But like I said, we've been working on this whole punch list thing, and we've made some progress. There's still a fair bit of stuff left. It's a pretty long list if you flip through there. And there's potential there could be some stuff that still needs to be addressed in the spring. At this point, speaking with Melanie, the thought is that we've kind of reduced this list a little bit to a pretty manageable level, and that if there's anything left to finish up seating-wise, that the city would probably cover that in the spring.
Has this been problems with the contractor getting some of these things done?
Well, it's been yes and no. This has been a very good project. I would say this contractor has been amazing to work with when they're here. Once the project reached that substantial completion, like September of last year, it sort of turned to a ghost town very quickly. And so they have a sub that's supposed to be doing the seeding for them. And it's all been seeded one time, at least. There's been some that have been redone already. And walking through the project, we've walked through it, I don't know, at least half a dozen times over the past year. I would say that it's generally got coverage everywhere. We're normally looking for at least 70% coverage. And I think it probably meets that in almost all places. There have been several complaints just about, that it's maybe not as perfect as the person's adjacent yard and that kind of stuff. And part of the reason we did it this way is related to, if anybody is on council from Libertyville Road Sewer, we did that partial release of retainage really early on in the project, and then it was like 2 years of hounding the contractor to get him to finish. And so we didn't release this retainage. We've been trying for a year now to get them to finish it, and it we've done our best, and I think at this point, the USDA money has to be spent by the end of the year, and we're getting to the point where, yes, we've had some rain recently, but I think it's still really dry out there, and the chances of getting it to take this late in the year when it's this dry is getting slim. So that's kind of where we are. I don't know if you wanted to add any more, Melanie, but yeah.
Okay, so thank you for explaining that. I think that-
Yeah, it's, so yeah, I mean, I would say that if there's property owners out there, I mean, we haven't forgotten you. The city is, you know, we're not walking away from this project, so. Yeah.
Okay, great. So is there a motion to accept this?
So moved.
Moved by Toohill,
Second.
second by Gandy. Any other discussion? Not, please call the roll.
Toohill?
Yes.
Gandy?
Yes.
Rasmussen?
Yes.
Esti?
Yes.
Ham?
Yes.
Thank you, Steve, appreciate that. Next action item, consideration of authorization to transfer funds to Iowa State Bank. Aaron, you want to talk about this?
Yeah, I was doing some research on some of our investments and was checking with some of the local banks for rates, and Iowa State Bank had a rather favorable rate and felt that compared to what our money market was at this point in time, it would be wise to transfer our money market account to Iowa State Bank. The unfortunate part about it is when I was doing the checking, it was before the FUD changed their rates again. And so kind of stuck with that at this point. But that after checking with the banks, that's where I came up with.
Okay, so, the next one has to do with Washington State Bank, so do you want to kind of put that all together and then we'll do these one at a time?
Again, a similar statement. IPATE, we had $3 million with IPATE, which is the state investment place, but their interest rate wasn't as good as what going through this process and having money here and locally compared to at the state is, I guess, would be my recommendation and preference, but that's where we had the money at the time, but would recommend changing that back to here.
Okay. So let's go to the first action item, consideration of authorization to transfer funds to Iowa State Bank. Do you want them?
If you want to let them talk, you can, yeah. If you want to give Ron an opportunity.
How much, I'm sorry, how much is that, the transfer that we're doing again? I didn't copy off that for the Iowa State Bank.
The one to Iowa State Bank would be $4.1 million, and the one to Washington State would be $3 million.
Okay, so Aaron, just, we note that Ron Haynes here is from Midwest One, where the money is now. So maybe let's, Ron, if you wouldn't mind, if you want to say anything.
Look at that little orange. It's all there.
To give additional information to the council members before they make a decision.
Yeah, probably two things with this. One, Aaron had contacted me. We are looking at adjusting the current money market rate just with the conversion component of things. Got a few things on the plate, and we're working to get that wrapped up and should be able to have that wrapped up soon just from the money market standpoint. From the CD investment side of things, based on the dollar amount, we had sent out, I actually had Jeff Burkhart, our regional manager, with me tonight, that had sent out as far as a bid for that for the 12-month at 3.75% as far as rate for those monies. So I would ask that the council consider that as part of that to generate a better rate of return for the city, of course, still keeping those monies local. Certainly understand the diversity in the community investment with the other financials as well, but from a rate of return standpoint, I think it is a pretty favorable rate for the city on that front. So
You said 3.75?
3.75
For a 12 month?
Yep.